Yancey County Public Library, and we'd like to go ahead and start with you, Wayne, if that's okay.
All right, thank you folks for having me and allowing me to speak tonight. I am here specifically for the purpose of addressing misinformation, which I believe has been sent to the commissioners and which has made its way around the community. First of all, the elephant in the room that started all this, the book Genderqueer. Everyone is being told that this is a children's book, that it's a young adult book. I would like to tell you it is characterized in our library as an adult biography. It is in the adult section. It is up to the adults whether they read it or not, and it's up to adults whether they allow their children to read it or not. I just want that not to be a misconception. Welcome to come by and check the adult biography shelves anytime. Also, another thing that has been making its way around the internet and other places, the book Lawn Boy. This is a fairly new novel by Jonathan Evison, which is a coming-of-age novel about a young man trying to make his way out of poverty and bad neighborhoods, and doing so by working menial jobs. It's exploring what a life of poverty does to someone and how they get out of it, and it's also a coming-of-age novel where he explores himself and discovers a few things. It is an adult novel. And by the way, the Yancey County Library doesn't even have a copy of this yet. We don't have it. But what is going around is that this novel, a very well-known novel by Gary Paulson, a guy who writes a lot of Appalachian stories, children's stories. What is being shown is this book in our catalog as a juvenile novel. And then a page from this Lawn Boy, which contains some adult themes, such as first sexual contact, that sort of thing. And you're conflating this book with this one. This is a very well-known and beloved children's book. I don't think the Paulson estate would appreciate that conflation. A number of other things that have come up online. Certain characterizations of those of us who work at the library. We're being called groomers. We're being told we support pedophilia. And nothing could be further from the truth. I would invite all of you to come to the library anytime to see what we do and to see what we have. So I just wanted to clear those misconceptions up. And thank you very much.
Firstly, I'd like to thank the commissioners for an opportunity to give a report, and I'd specifically like to thank Lynn Austin for inviting me for conversation this week and being able to speak with me in a spirit of transparency. So I appreciate that, Lynn. So I'm going to start out with the American Library Association, which the Amy Regional Library adopts the Bill of Rights by the American Library Association. Books and other library resources should be provided for the interest, information, and enlightenment of all people of the community the library serves. Materials should not be excluded because of the origin, background, or views of those contributing to their creation. Libraries should provide materials and information presenting all points of view on current and historical issues. Materials should not be prescribed or removed because of partisan or doctrinal disapproval. Libraries will challenge censorship in the fulfillment of their responsibility to provide information and enlightenment. Libraries should cooperate with all persons and groups concerned with resisting abridgment of free expression and free access to ideas. A person's right to use a library should not be denied or abridged because of origin, age, background, or views. Libraries which make exhibit spaces and meeting rooms available to all of the public they serve should make such facilities available on an equitable basis, regardless of the beliefs or affiliations of individuals or groups requesting their use. All people,
Same story.
excuse me?
I'm not hearing you say the same story you've told us the last two times. This is the first time you've come before us, and in your job description, you're supposed to report to us 4 times a year.
Okay, well, here's the first one of the year.
For you to start going back over all this again.
I'm-
You're to give an update on the library.
Let her talk.
Let her speak.
Let her speak.
Objection.
Okay, all people, regardless of origin, age, background, or views, possess a right to privacy and confidentiality in their library use. So now I'll move on to the community assessment. So this was conducted this past summer. We had open houses at all of our libraries. So the library has identified possible priorities and goals to focus on in the next 5 years. These are from the people of the community who responded, over 400 people, to provide welcoming, inclusive, inviting places. That's the #1 response. Lots of space to gather in small and large rooms, as well as individual quiet spaces. Wanting to continue to build strong connections with local organizations and community groups. Here's some statistical reports from Yancey Library. We average 150 patrons per day during the summer. We average 85 patrons per day throughout the year. That's including Saturdays, which were open for 3 hours. We had over 500 participants for the summer reading programs. We have over 450 library cards given out this fiscal year. 85% of Avery, Mitchell, and Yancey County patrons are active library patrons. That is a tremendous number. I'll go on. The individuals who provided these responses, the highest adult range is 60 and older at 45%. Second highest age is 31 to 45%, and 29% reported to be parents whose children use the library. Yancey has the highest volume of patrons at almost 40%. 33% surveyed said they visited once a week or more. Do you feel like your library is friendly and welcoming? 98% said yes.
Woohoo! Welcoming
People said they
library.
wanted to see the library focus on in the future. Community forums, 45%. Continuing education, almost 50%. More materials, 43%. The top choice of priorities and goals for the next 5 years, because we have to submit a 5-year strategic plan to the government, is to provide welcoming, inclusive, and inviting places. Over 45% participants requested that. So those are some of the statistics we gleaned from the community assessment. Let me get into the budget. Sure. We also submit a budget every year, so just so you know, commissioners have that information as well. That's required by law. It is always approved, that is true. Thank you, yes. Okay, so just to give you some specifics, what we are funded by is $882,819. That is the total from all of the individual libraries as well as the state aid package. Yancey County funds us currently, I have these in alphabetical order, of course. So they fund us at $146,168. This is very consistent with Avery County and the amount of people we have in those counties. So Mitchell County funds us at, let's see, $115,000. whereas Spruce Pine also funds us at $117,000. So just to give you some perspective, what we receive in state aid is $343,356 for services, and also that includes my salary as regional director, the regional office manager, the regional children's librarian, the regional outreach librarian, special projects librarian, administrative assistant, the assistant finance officer, and that's the person who does our audit, which we're in the middle of as well. That amount is just under 40% of our total, meaning state aid funds our library system at just under 40%. So when I tell you that as regional representative at the state level, what that means is our library system receives more than almost every regional library system in the state of North Carolina. And I'm happy to answer any questions. I think I've heard a few things regarding, books and materials. So Yancey County government for books and materials provides no budget. Avery County Morrison for books and materials provides no budget. Spruce Pine, no budget. Mitchell County, no budget. So what I'm telling you is that the supplies, the materials, the books that are in your libraries are funded by state aid, or they're funded by private donations. If you attend a library board meeting, what you will hear is nothing to do with collection development, except from a perspective of a librarian, meaning the books selected are the director and the library personnel. The board members have nothing to do with that. In addition, the way we display books is so that we recognize all people in our communities, and that means marginalized communities as well. At every single meeting, you will hear me state that our mission is to make sure that libraries are welcoming and inclusive spaces. And as you can see from the statistical report, that is what the people want as well. We are also guided as a regional system by a contract for the Amy Regional Library, which you all have a copy of that as well. So the contract that you sign as commissioners says that recognizing the diverse community served and the specific individual needs of the residents, we collaboratively are committed to the education, economic development, and quality of life contributions that libraries uniquely are able to provide. I'm going to read a quote, if that's okay with you. It takes no compromise to give people their rights. It takes no money to respect the individual. It takes no political deal to give people freedom. It takes no survey to remove repression. What does it take? It takes speaking up for the poor and weary, speaking up for children who fight each day to be who they are and to be seen. Speak up for the right of a parent to guide their children, to choose or to not choose what books they check out at the public library. A child cannot get a library card without a parental signature. I'm a native daughter of this community. I left here and returned home to do good work, to serve my community, and I believe I do so with an open heart and an open mind. And I also do so on behalf of my staff as well. And nothing happens in our libraries without me knowing it. So when you want to point at the library or to encourage some of the emails I've received lately that are very derogatory. So, thank you. So when I receive emails that are, I'm gonna make it my mission to find you and remove you, that is very distinctive from the support I receive from this community. So when you see me, see that I have a community of people behind me, and they are Christian and non-Christian, and they are straight and LGBTQ, and they're here with all of us. So. advocate for discrimination about books or displays, that's a federal lawsuit. That's not.
Yeah.
If anyone this evening who believes in the foundational freedom of public libraries and what they provide to all people, and you would like to be considered or have already been submitted as a name to this body, stand up, or if you're already standing, raise your hand.
I don't understand.
These are people who are asking to be on the board.
Explain that.
Did you not hear me?
We didn't understand.
Okay, I'll repeat it.
Explain it to the board.
If you would like to be a board member or be considered to be a board member, yeah, you can stand up. Thank you. I'm glad to see people who care about their library. Yes.
Well, I want to make a couple of comments here real quick and adding to the motions that are going on
Oh, and they can't hear you in the back.
Can't hear you.
here. Well, I want to make a couple of comments here and add to some of the emotions that are flowing pretty free in here. And I do want to say I applaud you, Amber, for villainizing this board. So thank you so much for making us. There's some misconceptions that were given. Shut up! There's a lot of misconceptions here, it seems to me like misconceptions are not just one way. This board has been villainized, and we also get those emails, Amber. We sure do, just like you do. This is a circus that has not been started by us. First of all, there's a misconception that this board wants to do away with the library, do away with books, have book banning, book burning, and all the things that have gone on in the past, and that is totally bogus and a lie, because we do not. We support the library. We have always supported the library. We'll continue to support the library, but we want to do it in an orderly manner because before the library board has been out of control for decades, and we're trying to make some continuity into this, just like every other board that we support and that we have functioned with. Okay? And you got to understand that this board, to understand, I will have you removed. If you want to speak, you speak in a 3-minute comment that you should have written down. This is very emotional and a very hot topic, but we're going to keep this thing in order, or I will have people take it out. The only people that are going to speak are the commissioners and Amber and the people that have signed up here for the public comments. It will not be tolerated anymore for any outbursts from anybody. Does everybody understand that? We've done by the order of the law. We're not getting rid of any books. We're not banning nor censoring anything that the public library has. We are making the playground level, and we're not going to be putting up with any kind of religious or political or ethnic displays because it brings discord. Can you all not see that? Any questions or comments for Miss Amber Briggs? To the rest of them. Can't take questions from the floor. We have a public comment section, and I know that you're coming late, and I'm not going to allow you to speak because if I do for you, then I've got to do for everybody. Because I know now everybody wants to speak. Okay? This is a very emotional time. We're going to keep forward. Okay? Thank you for your comments. Hold it, and you can talk to us after the meeting. Do I have any comments or any questions from the floor of the commission? Thank you.
Can I ask you a question? How do you feel villainized?
You had a gentleman come up here and was accusing the board of censoring those books, and heard me mention that. And we're talking about the misconception But you've got to remember that every single thing that you're dishing out to us, we're getting it as well. This is a two-way street. There's misconceptions on both sides. Do you understand? So the misconceptions that the gentleman was talking about that we're proposing, there's also misconceptions on our side as well.
So I have a misconception. Can you explain bias to me?
Sure. Whatever the dictionary is, if somebody just said
You used that in one of your comments. You said that there will be no bias in the library. I want to know what that means.
bias towards ethnic, religious, or political. Just, that's what I explained. In other words, you're gonna put up a display for one, you've got to put up a display for all, or you don't put up a display for one, and you don't put up a display for all. That's gonna be our brand.
So, huh? No, I'm trying to ask you a question.
Anyway, go ahead.
I think I've said enough. I feel like I've tried my best to be communicative.
The latter part of your update, that's what we want. What the taxpayer dollars would be used for, what the taxpayer that's what the citizens and that's what the commissioners are concerned.
I should have prefaced it with stating that I was making a response based on your last August meeting in which you said removing any pornographic material. What is pornographic material in the library?
I know it when I see it.
Listen, and I didn't say the library had it. I said for future references or any other time, we don't need it in there.
We can't have it. It's illegal.
The book that was in
Yes, genderqueer, which he spoke on. Yes. What about that book?
does it not show pornographic,
No. Yes, and can Wayne say something? Is that okay? All right.
Pornography is defined as graphic sexual images that are for the prurient interest and are no part of the storytelling. That's defined by the Supreme Court of the United States. That book contains images that may be graphic in nature, but they are a part of the story. They are not for the prurient interest, and, as I said before, it is an adult novel. If you want to buy a Playboy or Penthouse, you can walk into the store as an adult and buy one. But we don't have pornography in the library, but it is an adult book. I'd like to make that distinction.
thank you for that, and I appreciate the Supreme Court view. But pornography might not be pornography. And we were talking about, I was looking up something according to the library, I think it might be the National Library, the young adult age group now is considered 11 to 16.
That's different for our library.
That's what I looked at. The 16-year-old for the young adult is 11 to 16.
Okay.
Anything else in this group?
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
All right.